In this video, we have the Kyosho Fazer D2 back on the workbench, looking at these rear aluminum hubs to see if that takes out any of the slop that's in the rear end of this car. Is there any value in it, or is it just shiny red objects that you put on the car? If you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Troy. This is RoadsideRC. You'll tend to find me bashing or crawling or drifting or racing, plus doing product review videos and how-tos. Let's get started with a quick look at the car, what we might be looking to fix here. After having driven the car with these different tires and wheels on it for a little bit, I started to notice the wear pattern here. And I'll be honest, if you drive on not carpet, anything not carpet, look at the wear patterns on your tires, front and rear. It'll tell you a lot about your car. And what you'll notice over here, I hope you can see it in the video, is that the wear pattern on this tire, just having been driven a little bit, is very centered. Very, very centered on that tire. Using a lot of it. Clearly using a bunch of the tire. On this other side here, it's just like on the inside of the tire only. The outside of the tire doesn't even look like it's been used at all. These are all the same tires. They're all mounted the same way, on the same wheels. What gives? So when you look at it, these turnbuckles, typically what I would initially look at is, oh, these two turnbuckles aren't adjusted the same. But they're fixed turnbuckles, so that's not it. They are mounted to the same places on both the hub side and on the shock tower side. I even looked at the bottom and made sure that this has adjustable control arms on them. They're actually mounted the same. So there's something about the assembly here on this Kyosho that's not quite the same. So whether these turnbuckles aren't molded the same, whether the hubs aren't molded the same, something's causing this to wear the tires differently. So why do you care if they're wearing differently? First thing is, over here in this situation where you're only using this itty bitty bit of the tire, you're not getting as much traction. So that means your overall performance is hindered. The second part is, when the car drifts to the right versus drifting to the left, it's gonna feel different because you are leaning on these rear tires and you have different amounts of traction. That is what we would like to get rid of. I notice as I mess with it here, we have wobble. I don't know if you can see how much wobble we have there in the rear. Is that playing a part in it? Does one side have more, slop in it than the other? I think that's these turnbuckles and these ball ends, just like it was on the front. So, boo, we might not be able to fix that here today unless we just kind of hack it. But what we're going to look at is installing these rear hubs, these aluminum fancy shiny rear hubs. We're going to look at how good they are and then compare them to these factory ones and see if it really causes any difference. Let's start by getting these out of the box. I have 4 screws plus some little standoffs. I'll be curious to see what those are about. The 2 rear hubs marked left and right. That is super useful to make sure that you get them in the proper location. And I gotta give Kyosho credit. All these parts that I've installed in this car so far, they've all come with appropriate instructions. We're gonna start over here on the left rear by getting the nut off the wheel. Now, obviously, we need to get all of these parts off, so we're going to pop that upper turnbuckle off, which comes off way too easy. We're going to get our fancy plastic dog bone out of the way. Now, in order to get this rear hub off, we need to take this set screw out right here. So this set screw, we might just be able to only back it out. That way you don't lose it. It's in there holding this pin in. There you go. You'll see this pin actually has a detent in it. That's where you want that set screw to sit. That way it can't come out one way or the other. As you can see, the whole corner then just falls off the car. But of course, we need to go ahead and get this separated. So we're going to note that this ball end is in the middle position here. Now, this is the left of the car. So I'm going to go ahead and take this and we're going to look. The screw holes are in the exact same place. So this is a continued disappointment with these Kyosho upgraded parts. If you're gonna sell me an aftermarket fancy red hub, then make it different. Give me a really good reason to buy it. I would have loved to have seen this be a different shape right here and allow us many different mounting options in order to tune the rear suspension of the car. But instead, it's the exact same. So note that as we take this off, it's going to be our 2mm tip. Off comes that ball. Now remember, I'm working on the left-hand side here, so of course I have hub with the L on it. As I assemble this onto the new hub, a little bit of thread locker, because this is a metal screw into a metal part, and it will have a little bit of a force back and forth on it that might make it unscrew over time. We need to get the diff cup drive shaft through here. We still need to get our hex and everything off of it. There's 2 screws here. That gets that disc brake caliper off. That should allow us now to pull the hex off. Note that my little pin just fell out, so you want to be very careful not to lose that. And then our outer drive will come out, and we need these bearings. So my car still at this point is really new, so I don't need new bearings. This is, if your car has some miles on it, might be a good opportunity to replace your bearings while you're at it. Old hub, new hub. Disappointingly the same as we mentioned before, so that is what we are looking at. Now, one thing you will note, this has pretty big standoff here. That's where that caliper bolted onto. I noticed here that we had 4 little standoffs, 4 little red standoffs. That's what you're going to have to use. I'm going to say if you put the caliper back on. I'm not planning on it. These kind of things tend to just rub on wheels, especially if you start getting into different wheels than the factory wheels. A lot of the times these little calipers tend to rub on stuff. I don't want to run into that issue at all in the future, accidentally get myself, in trouble with it. So this is going to go in the recycle bin. Of course, that means we're going to put the bearings back in. We will put our drive cup in. Yeah, okay, so be careful with this. This outer drive is a 2-piece design. It's easy for this inner pin to get in the wrong space, and it won't let it come through right. Now we have enough room to get the pin in here on the front side. Put our hex back on. And we are back in business. So you do not need that disc brake. The disc brake's kind of nice, actually, how they have it over it. It means that this hex will never fall off whenever you pull a wheel off, which otherwise sometimes does happen. But yeah, that is going to go in the trash bin. So now we are into reassembly mode. First step, of course, is going to be putting this pin back across. So we're going to be able to just slide it in like that, making sure that that pin is nice and centered. You can see I hold it on both sides. It doesn't need to be super tight. You don't want to strip out these threads here. Get our dog bone back in. Of course, it has specific places that it goes. Popping on our super duper loose. We really need to replace these turnbuckles. Popping on that super loose turnbuckle. And there we go. That is it. We can put the tire and wheel back on. So did we gain anything out of this? I still have about the same amount of flex. The more I look at it, the more I think it's the turnbuckle, not the hub. I can't tell you how disappointed I am that this hub doesn't have additional mounting locations up here in order, or even down lower. It could even go lower. It has plenty of room all around it here in order to give you a different adjustability. It would have been such a simple thing for Kyosho to do, but instead they just basically copied it in aluminum. All right, I'm going to swap over and do the other side. I will do it off camera. If I see anything that is unique or different, I'll hat back down and let you know. If you have questions about anything that I've shown you in this video, please leave them down in the video comments. I'm going to be happy to help answer them in any way that I can. If you're curious about anything else that I've done with this car, I have more upgrades sitting over here that I need to put onto it. There's a whole Kyosho Fazer D2 playlist that'll be popping up over here to your right. I hope to see you in one of those videos. And then down below in the video description, if you want these parts themselves, there will be a link down there where you can click and buy them. So I hope to see you in one of these other videos. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.